या देवी स्तूयते नित्यं विबुधैर्वेदपारगैः सा मे वसतु जिह्वाग्रे ब्रह्मरूपा सरस्वती। नमामि नारायणपादपङ्कजं करोमि नारायणपूजनं सदा वदामि नारायणनामनिर्मलं स्मरामि नारायणतत्त्वमव्ययम्. Invoking the grace of Goddess Saraswati, Guru Ayappan, Paramacharya and Guru Parampara, we now continue our further study of Narayaniyam. Dasakam 5, we are on Dasakam 5 and Sloka 5. First we will chant the verse, Sloka 5. Tatrasau Trigunaatmakopi cha mahan Sattva pradhana swayam Jivesmin Khalu nirvikalpamahamityudbodha nishpadakaha Chakresmin savikalpabhodhakamahan Tattvam mahan khalvasau Sampushtam Trigunaistamooti bahulam Vishnu bhavat प्रेरणात् तत्रासौ त्रिगुणात्मकोऽपि च महान् सत्त्वः प्रधानस्वयम् जीवेऽस्मिन् खलु निर्विकल्पमहमित्युद्बोध निष्पादकः चक्रेऽस्मिन् सविकल्पबोधकमहन् तत्त्वं महान् खल्वसौ सम्पुष्टं त्रिगुणैस्तमोति बहुलम् Vishnu bhavat preranat. Anvaya, the prose order is like this. Tatra api, tatra asaucha mahan api, sattva pradanaha, asmin jive, nirvikalpam aham iti, udbodha nishpadakaha kalu, asau mahan kalu, Vishnu, he Vishnu, bhavat preranat, अस्मिन् त्रिगुणैः सम्पुष्टं सविकल्पबोधकम् अहं तत्त्वं चक्रे. This is the order in which you should read. Then we look at the meaning like this. Tatra means among the effects of Maya. Asaucha mahan, that mahat. Trigunatmakaha api, though made up of all the three gunas. Sattva pradanaha, being predominantly sattvic, asmin jive, in the jiva. Jiva means here the collective jiva, samashti. Nirvikalpam aham iti, as the I sense without differentiation, as this, that, etc. Udbodha nishpatakaha kalu, causes the recognition or cognition, indeed. Asau mahan kalu, this same mahat indeed, he Vishnu, O all-pervading Lord, bhavat preranad, by your will or by thy will, asmin, in this jiva, again the samashti jiva, trigunaihi sampushtam, though having all the three gunas in full measure, tamoti bahulam, being dominated by tamas, savikalpa bodhakam, causing the awareness of separate individuality, Aham Tattvam, Ahankara, or the ego, Chakre, created. The literal meaning will be like this. And the effects of Maya, Mahat, though made up of all the three gunas, causes, when predominantly sattvic, the cognition as I, without differentiation as separate entities. O all-pervading Lord, that same Mahat, when dominated by tamas, creates by thy will, by your will, the ego or ahankara, which is the awareness of separate individuality. We saw last time that Maya is the parinami upadana karanam for the universe. From Maya, the intelligence emerged, which is called the Mahat. Now, further explanation of or the universe through Mahat is being brought out in this verse. What he said that the Mahat is comprising all the three gunas. Three gunas basically Rajas, Sattvam, Rajas and Tamas. In these three gunas, when the Sattvic guna is predominant, then the recognition of I means the Atma Brahman, is seen as without differentiation. That means it is called Nirvikalpa. There is no separation. It is seen as one whole entity. When Sattvam, that's why Sattvic Guna is being made as the ultimate step for self-knowledge. So the Sattvic Guna enables the person to understand the reality without the impact of Ahankara. That's what is mentioned here. Sattvic Guna when predominantly Sattvic. The cognition as I, without differentiation, as separate entities, that's what it says. The same Mahat, when it is dominated by Tamas, which then it generates what is called the ego. The ego causes separate individuality. It's very important to understand here. The same Mahat is the cause for knowledge, Sattva also, when it is Sattva is predominant. The same Mahat also can, when Tamas predominates, it can cause Ahankara, which can create division, and this division can perpetuate ignorance. This is how the impact is brought out in this. What we have to, there is nothing much to explain further on this, because this person basically explain the process of evolution. In the next verse, the impact of differentiation of three gunas are being brought out, which will go now, which will read further. Verse number 6. Soham cha trigunakramat trividhatmasadya vaikariko bhujastaijasa tamasaviti bhavat adhyena sattvatmana devanindriya manino krita disha vatharka pashyasvino vannindrachuta mitrakan viduvithi Sri Rudra Sharirakan Soham cha Trigunakramat Tribhidatam asadya vaikariko bhujastaijasa tamasa viti bhavannadyena sattvatmana devanindriyamanino krita disha vatarka pashyasvino mannindrachuta mitrakan viduvidhi Sri Rudra Sharirakan. The Anvaya like this. Saha ahamcha trigunakramat tribhidatam asadya vaikarikaha bhuyaha taijasa tamasau iti cha bhavan adyena sattvatmana disha vatarka pashyasvinaha vannindrachuta mitrakan Vidhu Vidhi Sri Rudra Sharirakan Indriya Maninat Devan Akrita. This is how the order of the verse should be rearranged. Saha Ahamcha means that Ahankara Triguna Kramade, in accordance with the three gunas, Krama. That is Sattvam, Rajas, Tamas, it is talked about. Tribhitatham Asadhya, becoming divided into three. Vaikarikaha, as Vaikarika. Vaikarika is the other word used for Sattvic part of the guna. Bhuyaha Taijasa Tamasau. Further as Taijasa, the Rajasic part, and Tamasa as the Tamasic part. Iti cha bhavan, becoming or called as Adyena Sattvatmana, by means of the first, which is Sattvic. Disha Vatharka Pashyasvinaha, the directions, Vayu, Surya, Varuna, Ashwini Devatas. Vannindrachuta Mitrakan, Agni, Indra, Upendra, Mitra, Prajapati. Vidyut Vitishriruta Sharirakan, the moon, Brahma, Sri Rudra, Kshetrajna. Indriya Maninaha Devan, who are the gods presiding over the sense organs of action, and the mind, Akrita, created. the meaning of the word will be that ahankara becoming divided into three parts known as Vaikarika, Taijasa, and Tamasa, being Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic respectively, created by means of Sattvic part, the gods presiding over the organs of sense and action and the mind, namely the directions Vayu, Surya, Varuna, the Aswini Devas, Agni, Indra, Upendra, Mitra, Prajapati, Moon, Brahma, Sri Rudra, and Kshetrajna in the same order. This again is a description of the various vikaras of the Mahat. So when the gunas get divided, the gunas are getting given to Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas are further preserved over the Karmendriyas, Jnanendriyas, and Manas. Manas or Antakarna. So this is the order in which it is being defined here. And this Karmendriya, the Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, and Manas, what are they are also being explained. It's not explained in this verse, but indirectly what has been created, these are being presided over by the respective gods. Now we'll go into a little more detail in the next session. What Karmendriya is, what Jnanendriya is, what Karmendriya is, and what Antakarana is, and what are the functions of these Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, and Manas, and also Antakarana, and also who are the Devatas, which have been described here, respectively, presided over by these Indriyas. Namami Narayana Padapangajam, Karomi Narayana Pujaram Sada, Vadhami Narayana Namadharmalam, Smarami Narayana Tattvam Hariyu. Ya Devi Stuyade Nityam, Vibhudair Veda Paragaihi, Samaya Vasadu Jikvagri, Brahma Rupa Saraswati. Namami Narayana Padapangajam, Karomi Narayana Pujaram Sada, Vadhami Narayana Namadharmalam, Smarami Narayana Tattvam Invoking the grace of Goddess Saraswati, Guru Vairappan, Mahaperiyawal, and Guru Parambara, we now continue our discussion on Narayanam, verses 5 and 6. Last time we saw that the verse 5, that from Maya emerged the Mahat. That Mahat, which comprises of the Sattvic aspect, where there is no differentiation of I, and which is conducive for knowledge. The same Mahat, which is when dominated by Tamas, the Ahankara, or the ego generated. And there is a reference made in verse 5, that Asmin Jiva, in this Jiva. And then it was further said in verse 6, that this Ahankara got divided into three gunas, basically the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, and then they were linked with the presiding deities. Now, before going further, I said that I will give a brief about what is Jiva, what are these Sukshma Sthula Karana Sharira, and the Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, etc. So that we will get an idea, and the mind also, so that we will get an idea of how these are interrelated. The Jiva here referred to is basically the individual entity born of ignorance. In Shastra, it is explained as Karana Stula Sukshma Adhikari. It's called the Jiva. Jiva comes into existence because of the ignorance of the nature of one's own reality. Because of ignorance, the Karana Sharira is born, the causal body. In the Karana Sharira, the Shastra says, now this is taken by a text from the text called Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha is the Prakarana Grantha text made by Shankaracharya to explain all the Vedantic terms and understand the interrelationship between one and all. So there is mentioned here that the Karana Sharira is that which cannot be explained, because this state of ignorance is neither Sat, existing in all three periods of time, or nor Asat, non-existing. Therefore, the causal body is born of ignorance of the nature of one's reality. And this ignorance, assuming one thing to be individual, limited, there is self-ignorance, leads to self-misconception. So non-apprehension leads to misapprehension. And this ignorant jiva is responsible for the creation of Stula Sarira called gross body and Sukshma Sarira called subtle body. That means the Brahman, original consciousness, reflected in the causal body is called jiva. This jiva, through the causal body ignorance, the consciousness flows into the Sukshma Sarira and Stula Sarira. And the Stula Sukshma Karana Sarira entity is called jiva. Briefly, I will summarize what is the Sukshma Sarira. Stula Sarira, Sukshma Sarira and Karana Sarira. Karana Sarira we saw is the causal body. Now we will go into what is the Stula Sarira. Stula Sarira is called the gross body. There is an elaborate definition of what is Stula Sarira, but I will not go into those details. But briefly, just we understand that Stula Sarira is this gross body which are able to objectify. This comprises of the 5 elements: Akasha, Vayu, Agni, water and Prithvi. These 5 elements constitute the Sukshma Sarira. It is called as Bhoga Sadhanam. It is the Bhoga Ayatanam, not Bhoga Sadhanam, Bhoga Ayatanam. It is the place where we enjoy in the world. So it is a connection between me, the individual, and the world, and I enjoy through the Stula Sharira. The Stula Sharira is something which is grosser, so which can be objectified, which can be perceived, and through which we conduct transactions. But Stula Sharira alone is not sufficient for conducting transaction. Behind the Stula Sharira, you require also the Sukshma Sharira, which is called the subtle body. The subtle body comprises the 5 Jnanendriyas. Jnanendriyas means the sensory organs of perception. Then the 5 Karmendriyas, the organs of action. Pancha Pranaha, the 5 Pranas, and the mind and the intellect. So in all there are 17 components of Sukshma Sarira. These together constitute the instrument, the sadhanam, bhoga sadhanam. Through this instrument, the Stula Sharira, the gross body, functions in the world outside. Now we will go a little into it, what is called the Karmendriya, Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. Jnanendriya is defined as Shrotram, Tvak, Chakshuhu, Rasana, Granam. 5 things are comprised here. The Jnanendriya comprises Shrotram means the ear, then Tvak means the skin, Chakshuhu means the eyes, Rasana means the sense of taste, and Granam means the smell. We should understand these are all Sukshma, these are all sense centers or sense organs. Now what we see physically, the eyes and ears, they are all outlets, they are called Golayas. They form part of the gross body. They don't come under this. What comes under this is the sense of eyes, the sense of perception. Here, the eye, for example, the sense of seeing, that is called eye. Similarly, the sense of touch, that is skin. Through the skin, we are having a sense of touching. Similarly, through the ears we hear. So the sense of hearing is called is part of the Sukshma Sarira. So sense of seeing, sense of hearing, sense of touch, sense of taste, sense of smell. All these senses, the capacity to smell, they constitute the 5 Jnanendriyas. So this you should understand very clearly. That's why it's called Sukshma. What we see as eyes, ears, outside, they are all the outlets. They are technically called golayas. So we should not be confused with this. Through these golayas, these 5 senses, 5 or jnanendriyas function. Now, there are also the karmendriyas. The 5 karmendriyas are Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upastha. Vak means the speech. Pani means the hands. Pada means the legs. Payu means the anus, the organ of excretion. And Upastha means the genitals. These constitute the karmendriyas. Again, we function. These karmendriyas help us to perform our actions. We are able to speak because of the karmendriya. We are able to do something because of the hands. We are able to move because of the legs, etc. So these are the functional aspects of the karmendriyas. I'll again go through. So these 5 constitute that. And there is one is called the antakarana. The antakarana means the 5 elements which constitute the means for our thinking. Antakaranas are broadly classified as manaha, buddhi, ahankara, and chitta. The capacity of the mind is to think. Sankalpa vikalpatmaka. Mind which is in a state of indecision is called mind. The same thought process, both are thoughts only. The state of finite decision is called intellect, nischayatmika buddhi. Aham karta, the ahankara, I am the doer. And chintana kartri, the chittam, that is the repository of thoughts, the memory, for example. Memory forms a chintana. So mind, buddhi, intellect, and chittam. The chittam is the thinking faculty or the faculty of recollection or the memory, whatever you may call it. So this forms the antakarana. So this much we should understand now to see how the flow is. So from Karana Sarira, Sukshma Sarira, Stula Sarira, Sukshma Sarira. This is how the flow is, and this constitutes the Jiva. Now in the verse number 6, the linkage of the 16 gods are linked to the Jnanendriyas, Karmendriya, and Antakarana. 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriya, and 4 aspects of the Antakarana. The linkages have been explained in that verse. So starting from the Jnanendriya we find Srotrasya Devata is Dik, the directions. Tvacho means Tvak. It is Vayu, the air, we saw in that verse. Rasanaya Varunaha. The taste is Varuna, the presiding deity. Granasya means of the smell. The presiding deity is Ashwino, the Ashwini Devatas. So these are the Devatas for Jnanendriya. And for the Karmendriyas, the Devatas are Vacho Devata, Vannihi, the fire. Hastayor Indraha. Upendra word is also Agni, Indra is there. Padayoho Vishnu. Here the word used is called Upendra. In Tattva Bodha, the word used is Vishnu. Both are meaning because Upendra means he is the brother of Indra. Therefore he is called Vishnu. So Vishnu and Upendra is meaning the same. Then Payo Upastasya Prajapatihi. We saw Payo means Mrityu. Next aspect is Mrityu. It is explained here as the Mitra. Then Upastasya Prajapati. For the genitals, Prajapati. That's how you find here the connection very clearly. I'll repeat again. For the Vacha, the Agni is the fire is the Devata. For the hands, that is Hastaha, Indra is the Devata. For Pada, the legs, Upendra or Vishnu is the Devata. For Payu, the organ of excretion, Mrityu, it is called here Mitra. And for the genitals, Prajapati is the Devata. This is relating to the Karmendriyas. And then we come to the Antakarana aspect. For the Antakarana, the Devatas are like this. Manasya Devata, I said Manaha, Chittam, Ahankaram, Manas, Buddhi, Ahankaram, Chitta. This is the order. For Manas, the Devata is Chandrama, that is the moon. And for Buddhi, the preceding deity is Brahma. For Ahankara, it is Rudra. And for Chitta, it is Vasudeva. Here it is called as Kshetrajna. And this is how they are linked. These 16 elements are basically linked with the 5 Jnanendriyas, the 5 Karmendriyas, the 14 elements, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, and the 4 Antakaranas, 4 aspects of the Antakarana. That's how it is defined here. These Jnanendriyas represents the Sattvic aspect. Manas also is the Sattvic aspect, whereas the Karmendriyas form the Rajasic aspect of the Ahankara. All these Devatas, which are talked about 14, they all come under the Rajasic Sattvic aspect of the God. Because they are gods, they come under the Sattvic aspect of the God. We'll move forward in the next session. I hope the understanding is very clear. You may have to listen and re-listen so that it becomes very clear to you. Namami Narayana Padapankajam, Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada, Vadami Narayana Namadharmalam, Smarami Narayana Tatamabhyam, Narayana Akilaguru Bhagavan Namaste. Hariyu. Ya Devi Stujade Nityam, Vivudar Veda Paragaihi, Same Vasadujikagre, Brahma Rupa Saraswati. Namami Narayana Padapankajam, Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada, Vadami Narayana Namadharmalam, Smarami Narayana Tatamabhyam. Invoking the grace of Goddess Saraswati, Guru Ayappan, Mahaparival and Guru Parampara, we now move on to the verse 7 of Dasakam 5. I will read out the verse first. Bhuman Manasa Buddhyaham Kriti Milachittakya Vrityanvitam Tachantakkaranam Vibhota Babalat Satvamshaye Vasijad Jadastajasato Dashendriya Ganaha Tattamasamshat Punaha Tanmatram Nabaso Marutpurapate Shabdho Janitvad Balat Bhuman Manasa Buddhyaham Kriti Milachittakya Vrityanvitam Tachantakkaranam Vibhota Babalat Satvamshaye Vasrijate Jadastajasato Dashendriyagana Tattamasamshat Punaha Tanmatram Nabaso Marutpurapate Shabdho Janitvad Balat. The meaning of the verse is like this. We'll go to the Anvaya, the prose order. Hey Bhuman, Vibho, O infinite, all-pervading Lord, Tava Balat, by your will, Satvamshaha Eva, the Sattvic aspect of Ahankara, Vaikarika we call it, itself. Then Manasa Buddhyaham Kriti Mila Chittakya Vrityan Vidam, constituted of the 4 modes called the mind, intellect, Ahankara and Chitta. Tat Antakaranam Cha, that inner instrument, Asrijada created. He Marutpurapate, O Lord of the Guruvayur, Tvad Balad, again by your will, Taijasataha, from the Taijasa aspect, Dashendriya Ganaha, the 10 Indriyas, Jataha were born. Punaha, further, Tat Tamasamshad, from the Tamasa aspect, Nabasaha, Tanmatram, the subtle essence of space, Shabda, sound, Ajani was born. O infinite, all-pervading Lord, by your will, the inner instrument, constituted of the mind, intellect, Ahankara, and Chitta, was created by the sattvic aspect of ahankara. From its rajasic aspect, that is Taijasa, the 10 indriyas were born by your will. Further, from the tamasic aspect, sound, which is the subtle essence of space, was born. In the last session, I was talking about the subtle bodies, the Sukshma Sarira, which comprised basically the 5 organs of perception called Jnanendriyas, the 5 organs of action called Karmendriyas, the Antakarana comprising 4 Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, and the Panchaprana. Now, these are being talked about in the current verse. Here, basically, what is covered here is from the Sukshma Sarira, the Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas, Antakarana is talked about. The Antakarana comprises Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, and Ahankara. From where it came? It came from the subtle aspect of the 5 elements. And they are coming from the Sattva Guna. As I said, the Maya has got 3 gunas, we saw earlier also. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattva for knowledge, Rajas for activity, Tamas representing inertia or inertness. And therefore, the Antakarana, which comprises mind, Buddhi, Ahankara and Chitta, all represents the knowledge producing aspect, through which only we come to know about the creation, about the created, etc. And therefore, they come under the sattvic aspect of Ahankara. All the subtle elements put together, the subtle elements of the 5 basic elements, Akasa, Vayu, Prithvi, Apaha, etc., put together, Agni, put together, form the subtle element. They have got a gross element. Gross element goes to the Sthula Sarira, gross body. The subtle elements goes into the Sukshma Sarira. So here the reference is about that. So in the subtle elements, the Sattva aspect of that goes into the Antakarana, Manas, Buddhi, Chitta and Ahankara. Then we come to the organs of knowledge, which are called the Jnanendriyas. These Jnanendriyas, they come from what is called the Tanmatra of these elements, which I have not covered last time, so I thought I will take it in this. The 5 elements have got the Tanmatra. Tanmatra means they are the subtle aspects of the gross elements. Means the guna, if we want to say the guna. For the guna of Akasha is sound. The guna of air is touch. The guna of fire is form. The guna of water is taste. And the guna of Prithvi, earth, is smell. We are coming to the same order. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. So these Tanmatras, the sense elements, for example, they are all the Jnanendriyas we are talking about. The 5 Jnanendriyas are Shrotraha, Sparshaha, Rupaha, then the sattvic, the taste aspects, and the smell, Grana. The technical words for this is Shrotra, Sparsha, Chakshu, Granaha, Rasanaha. Rasanaha is the taste. The sound aspect of the Tanmatra goes into the Shrotra, because when we hear through the sound. The touch aspect goes into the Sparsha aspect. So the Sparsha is through the touch aspect. The form, the Agni which comes the form, that goes through what is called the Chakshu, means from the sattvic aspect of fire is formed the eye. Then from the sattvic aspect of water, Apaha, we have what is called the tongue. So the taste is through the tongue. So we are the organ of taste, the Tanmatra, is linked to the tongue. Then the organ of smell which is the Tanmatra of earth, and which is the sattvic aspect of the earth, is linked to the nose, because any nose can be smelled through the nose, and this is how it is linked. Technically, all these are linked to the knowledge. In Tattvabodha, they are linked under the sattvic aspect. Then we have the 5 karmendriyas. The 5 karmendriyas also are defined like this. I have already covered that in the last aspect. So now we are going to the second, which are linked to what? The subtle elements. So he says that I am going to the Tattvabodha. From there we can get a link of this. Among these 5 elements, from the Rajas aspect of space is from the organ of speech, Vak. From the Rajas aspect of Vayu, air, is from the hand, Vak, Pani. So first is Vak, second is Pani, that is hands. From the Rajas aspect of fire is from leg, that is Pada, Vak, Pani, Pada. From the Rajas aspect of water, from the genitals, that is called Vak, Pani, Payu. And from the Rajas aspect of the earth, the anus is formed. So Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upastha. This is how it has been defined. So each are coming from the specific form. I am again repeating again. From Akashas, the Rajas aspect, the speech comes Vak. From the Vayu aspect comes the hands. From the Agni aspect comes the legs. From Apa, the water aspect, comes the genitals. And from the Prithvi comes the anus. We call it as the Upastha aspect. Now these are the Rajasic aspect actually, because through this we perform the action. So anything linked to action is linked to the Rajas aspect of the gunas. Therefore, these karmendriyas strictly comes from the Rajasic aspect. Whereas the earlier one, we talked about the Jnanendriyas. In this text, it is referred as from Rajasic aspect, but strictly they should come under the Sattvic aspect. The Sattvic aspect is linked with the Jnanendriyas, and Rajasic aspect is linked with the Karmendriyas. Although in the text, all the 10 are covered under Rajasic aspect. So there is a slight difference here. Perhaps because they are linked to the presiding detas who are sattvic in nature. I do not know how they have been linked, why they are linked with the Rajasic. But strictly speaking, Jnanendriyas are coming under the sattvic aspect, and Karmendriyas come from the Rajasic aspect. Slight correction has to be understood technically. And the last one is the tamas, the sound. That comes from the tamas aspect. We found that the akasha is tanmatra, is the sound. So therefore, the sound, which is the tanmatra of the akasha, is coming from the tamasic aspect. We'll move further to the next verse. Since we have got short of time, I'll move into the verse 7 in the next session. Narayana Akilaguru Bhagavan Namaste. Hari Om. Ya Devi Stuyade Nityam Vibudhair Veda Paragaihi Same Vasatu Jikhvagre Brahma Rupa Saraswati. Namami Narayana Pada Pankajam Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada Vadhami Narayana Nama Nirmalam Smarami Narayana Tattvam Abhyayam. invoking the grace of Goddess Saraswati, Guru Ayyappan, Mahaperival, and Guru Parampara. We are now discussing on the chapter 5, verse number 8. Before starting the verse, I would like to clarify the point which I raised about the Karmendriyas, linking each of the Karmendriyas to the 5 elements, where I mentioned Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upastha. Vak represents the Akasha aspect, Pani represents the Vayu aspect, Pada represents the Agni aspect, Upastha represents the waters, and the Prithvi aspect is represented by the Payu, that is the Anus. Last time I mentioned the Payu as the water aspect and Upastha as the Mrityu aspect, as the Prithvi aspect, which needs to be corrected. Now we move on to the verse number 8. Shabdad vyoma tatas sasarjita vibho sparsham tato marutam tasmad rupamato mahotacharasam toyam cha gandham mahim evam madhava purva kalanat adhyadya dharmanvitam bhutagramamimam tvameva bhagavan prakashayastamashat sabdhad vyoma tatasya sarjita vibho sparsham tato marutam tasmad rupamato mahotacharasam toyam cha gandham mahim evam madhava purva kalanat adhyadya dharmanvitam bhutagramamimam tvameva bhagavan prakashayastamasat. We go into the Anvaya. He Vibho, Shabdhad Vyoma, Tatas Sparsham, Tatah Marutam, Tasmad Rupam, Ataha Mahaha, Atacha Rasam, Toyam Gandham Mahimcha, Sasarjita. He Madhava, Evam, Purva Kalanat, Adhyadya Dharmanvitam, Imam Bhuta Gramam, He Bhagavan, Tvam Eva, Tamasat, Prakashayaha. The literal meaning, He Vibhu, O all-pervading Lord. Shabdhad Vyoma means from sound space. Tata Sparsham, from space touch. Tata Marutam, from that air. Tasmat Ruvam, from that form. Ataha Mahaha, from form fair. Atacha Rasam, from fair taste. Toyam Gandham Mahimcha, then water, smell and earth. Sasarjita, thou you created. He Madhava, O Madhava. Evam, in this manner. Purva Kalanat, because of the association with the preceding product or preceding element, we can say. Adhya Dharmanvidam, having the qualities of the earlier elements. Itam Bhuta Gramam, this chain of subtle elements. He Bhagavan, O Lord. Tvam Eva, thou thyself. Tamasat, from that ahankara. Prakashayaha, did bring out. The meaning, O all-pervading Lord, from sound thou didst create space, from space the subtle element of touch, and then in order from one to the next, air, form, fire, taste, water, smell and earth. O Madhava, in this manner you did bring into existence from the tamasa ahankara the chain of subtle elements, each one having the qualities of the preceding ones, because of being derived from them, O Lord. In this verse, the evolution of the cosmic universe from the basic elements, from the 5 elements, is being described here. The last verse, it was already mentioned that from the tamasic aspect, sound, which is the subtle essence of space, was born. Here, elaborately, all the elements are being covered. This verse echoes the message of the Vedas, the Taittiriya Upanishad, which says, Tasmad tat akashas sambudaha tat atmana akashaha akashat vayuhu vayuragnihi agnerapah adbhyak prithivhi prithivya oshadayaha oshadhibhyonnam annat purushaha. This is the verse coming in the Taittiriya Upanishad, second Prashna. Here the first one is talked about. Atmana akashaha. In fact, from Atman, the Akasha is born. The word you there used in the Vedas is Atma. We should understand that the Atman is the Nirguna Brahman, which is when it reflected in Maya is Ishvara. So in the verse here also the author talks about that from Tamasa Ahankara. Tamasa Ahankara is the manifestation of Maya. And Ishvara, you, because the Brahman reflected in Maya is the Ishvara. Therefore, you, with the help of Maya, with the help of these 5 elements, which are parts of the Tamasa Ahankara, created the universe. How it is being explained is related like this. We should understand here that Akasha, Vayu, Prithvi, Apaha, and Akasha, Vayu, Agnihi, Apaha, Prithvi, these 5 elements, also are gross as well as subtle. The subtle elements are represented what we call as the gunas, which already covered earlier, tanmatras. For example, Akasha has got the tanmatra as shabda, that is the sound. Then Vayu has got the tanmatra as the sparsha, the touch. Agni has got the tanmatra as the rupa, form. Shabda, sparsha, rupa. Then Apaha has the tanmatra as the taste. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa. Then the Prithvi has got the tanmatra as the gandha, the smell. So here it is said, you from the tamasa hankara, the subtle element Akasha, which has got the sound as the tanmatra, is born. From Akasha, Vayu is born. The Vayu will have the characteristic of the Akasha also. So Atmana Akasha Vayu, that is how the order. Therefore, the Vayu, which will have the property of its own property of touch as well as the property of the space. Then from Vayu, Agni comes. Agni will have its own property of the form and the properties of the Akasha and Vayu, which are sound as well as touch. And then Agnihi Apaha, from water, which has got its own property of taste, associated with the properties of Akasha, that means sound, sparsha, Vayu, and form, the Agni. So all the 3 properties comes in the water also. And finally, the Prithvi, its properties smell. So predominancies of smell, and it has got all the other tanmatras, basically Sabda, that means sound, Sparsha means touch, Rupa means form, and Rasa means taste. So these are all mixed together. That's why we will find that in earth all the previous 4 elements are all combined. So this is the chain of the subtle elements, that each will have the qualities of the preceding ones because they are derived from them, and they have also the predominant quality of that particular element. This is being explained in this verse. We should again understand that the mention here is made of Tamasa Hankara, because Tamasa Hankara is the byproduct of Maya. And Maya is nothing but the Atman reflected in Maya is the Ishvara. So therefore Ishvara is coming. So Ishvara is the creator through Maya as the Shakti, and the Maya divided into Vaikarika, Taijasa and Tamasa we saw earlier, Rajas, Sattva, and Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So, from this Tamasa aspect, all these 5 elements with their tanmatras, they are born, linking to each other to that. So, this flow has been described in this verse, and we should understand that when we talk of elemental world, each element always has got the property of the previous, so which cannot be considered in isolation. And this flow is maintained throughout in the creation. We will now move on to the verse number 9. Etam bhutaganas. Etam bhuta. I will go into the verse again. Verse number 9. Etam bhutaganaastadendriyaganaha devascha jatah pratak no sheku bhuvananda nirmita vidhau devai ramibhistadha tvam nanavidha suktibhir nutaguna tatvanya visanne cheshta shakti mudiryata nikatayan hairanyamandham vyathaha ete bhutaganaastadendriyaganaha devascha jatah pratak no shekur bhuvananda nirmita vidhau devai ramibhistadha tvam nanavidha suktibhir nutaguna tatvanyamundhyabhishante cheshta shakti mudiryata nikatayan hairanya mandham vyathaha. We'll go to the meaning, literal meaning. Ete bhutaganaha, these elements, tata indriyaganaha, as also the subtle organ of sense and action, devaha cha, and the presiding deities, jataha, which had come into existence, bhuvananda nirmita vidhau, in creating the Brahmananda, that is the cosmic whole, Pritakno Shekuhu, were not capable by themselves, tada, then, Amibihi Devaihi, by these presiding deities, Nanavidha Suktibihi Nutagunastvam, thou, whose excellences were sung by means of various hymns, Amuni Tattvani, these categories, Avishan, entering Cheshta Shaktim Udhirya, and activating Tani Gatayan, combining therein Hairanyam Andam, the golden egg, Vyataha, didst create. These elements, the subtle organs formed out of them, and their presiding deities could not by themselves create the Brahmananda. Then, thou being praised by the presiding deities, by means of various hymns, did enter all of them, and by activating and combining them, did create the golden egg. This is the literal meaning. We will proceed to the in detail in the next session. Namami Narayana Padabangajam, Kuromi Narayana Pujanam Sada, Vadhami Narayana Namadharbalam, Smarami Narayana Tattvamabhyam. Hari Om. Ya Devi Stuyate Nityam Vibudhair Vedaparagaihi Same Vasatu Jikhvagre Brahma Rupa Saraswati Namami Narayana Padabangajam, Kuromi Narayana Pujanam Sada, Vadhami Narayana Namadharbalam, Smarami Narayana Tattvamabhyam. Invoking the grace of Goddess Saraswati, Guru Ayappan, Mahaparival, and Guru Parampara, we are now continuing our discussion on Dashakan 5 and verse number 9 of Narayaniyam. The last session we recited the verse, also covered the literal meaning. Now I would like to elaborate a little more on that. In verse number 9, reference was made for saying that these elements are the ones which are covered in the previous verse 8, basically Akasha, space, Vayu, air, Agni, fire, Apaha, water, and Prithvi, earth. From these gross elements, they have got also the subtle elements. So these subtle organs formed out of them. Not only that, in the verses number 6 and 7, in verse number 6, it was mentioned, and also in 7 also, the subtle elements representing the Karma Indriyas, Jnana Indriyas, and Antakarana. and the preceding deities were covered in verse number 6, which are 14 deities were covered, representing the Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Antakarana. And it was mentioned that all these subtle organs were basically matter in nature, insentient, and therefore they didn't have the power in them. And therefore the preceding deities invoked the grace of Ishvara, here the Lord Krishna, to give the power by which these elements get activated, and combining in them, they help in creating the space. And therefore, when these preceding deities invoked the Lord, the Ishvara, then he entered into all of them, Pravishaha, and activated them, and then created what is called the golden egg. The golden egg in the Vedanta also is referred to as the Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is the golden egg, defined here. So this golden egg was created, and through the golden egg, the universe was created. We will now move into the verse number 10, then I will give a complete combined explanation of the two. Verse number 10. Andam tat kalu purvasishta salile tishtat sahasram samaha nirbindanna kridas chaturdashaha jagadrupam viradahvyavayam sahasrai karapada murdhanivahaihi निशेष जीवात्मको निर्भातोऽसि मरुत्पुराधिप समां त्रायस्व सर्वामयाद् अंडं तत्कलु पूर्वसृष्टसलिले तिष्ठत्सहस्रं समाः निर्बिन्दन्नकृधाश्चतुर्दश जगद् रूपं विराडाह्वयम् साहस्रैः करपादमूर्धनिवहैः निःशेष जीवात्मको निर्भातोऽसि मरुत्पुरातिपसमां त्रायस्व सर्वामयात्. We'll go into the meaning of this. Tat andam kalu, that Brahmananda, which is the golden egg, which is referred to Hiranyagarbha, Purva Srishta Salile, in the already created cosmic waters, Sahasram Samaha, for 1,000 years, Atishtata remained, Nirbindan, breaking it, Chaturdasha Jagad Rupam, in the form of 14 worlds, Viradahvayam, known as the Virat, Akritaha, thou did make, Nishesha Jivatmakaha, as all beings, Sahasraihi Karapadha Murdhanibahaihi, with thousands of hands, feet and heads, Nirbhataha Asi, thou did shine, He Marutpuradipa, O Lord of Guruvayur. Saha Tvam, that thou, Sarvamayat, from all ailments, Mam Trayasva, please protect me. The literal meaning, that Brahmananda remained for 1,000 years in the already created cosmic waters, breaking it, thou didst make the 14 worlds known as Virat. Thou didst shine as all beings with thousands of hands, feet and heads. O Lord of Guruvayur, please protect me from all ailments. This is the literal meaning. So in the previous verse, it was mentioned that the Lord created the golden egg, Hiranyagarbha. From that Brahmananda, Hiranyagarbha, which already remained in the cosmic waters, it is created cosmic waters for 1,000 years. I had a discussion with Swami Paramarthananda also on this matter, because the traditional Vedanta defines the emergence of universe in a different way. But here a model is being presented, that in one of this Srishti, this could be the model. And therefore we are unfolding that model in the same pattern. That in Brihadaranya Upanishad, there is a reference about Avarna Samudram, Purva Srishti. That Avarna Samudram is referred here as the cosmic waters. Therefore, the Hiranyagarbha, which is from the Grihanyagarbha, as created by the Bhagavan, which was lying in the Avarana Samudra. Here it is called the cosmic waters for 1,000 years. The Lord broke open it, literally, if you want to use the word, or emerged out of it the 14 worlds. The 14 worlds created from the Lord Ishvara himself through the Hiranyagarbha, the golden egg. That's how it is presented here. There is also a reference of this Mahajalaukasya. We have in a Mahasankalpa also. Mahachalaukasya Madhye. Like that, there is a reference in Mahasankalpa in our Upakarma. So there also it is being recorded about. So there are references about this Srishti, this model in both. The traditional Vedanta, it is presented in a different way. There it is mentioned, by Shankara in Tattva Bodha has mentioned, that the reflected consciousness through in the Sukshma Prapancha, in the causal world, as Antaryami, became the Hiranyagarbha in the Sukshma Sarira, and then became the Virat for creating the gross world. Here it is presented as a model through the as Hiranyagarbha, the Lord himself created the 14 worlds from the cosmic golden egg. So the presentation model is slightly different, but the concept is more or less mentioned here. So we should again understand it is the Ishvara as Maya Sakti created the world in this manner, with of course Brahman as the Adhisthana, Brahman as the all-pervading entity, Adhisthana in the universe. Now, one thing we have to remember here is the 14 worlds references are made. The 14 worlds are Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha. This comes also in our, and Satyam. This comes also in our Pranava daily Upasana. Also it comes also in the Upakrama and all. And the other 7 worlds, which are the nether regions, the lower world, which are Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, and Patala. Patala also is called Nitala. So all these 14 worlds were created. And together this is called, and therefore the Ishvara is called as Virat. Because you see the title of this is Virat Purushotpatti Prakara Varanam. How the Virat created the world. That's how the evolution of the cosmos is described. So Virat means Visheshena Rajate. Bibitam Rajate also we can say. The one who is the Lord of the universe, we can say. And Vishwam also we can say Bibidham Swayate, that which appears in many names and forms through the Maya Shakti. This is the explanation given for the creation of the universe. Now we need to understand very, very clearly here that the world itself is now considered here as Ishvara. The entire world is Ishvara, pervaded by Brahman as the Adhisthana. So the Ishvara is Aneka Rupa Ishvara because there are many names and forms. So the many names and forms which pervades the entire universe with Brahman as Adhisthana is the Ishvara. So Ishvara has got the Maya as the Sakti, therefore he is called the Mayavi. He is also called the Mayavi, he is also called the Virat. So this Ishvara pervaded the entire universe. Therefore it is said here that you were shining as all beings with thousands of hands, feet and heads. This explanation, this designation of thousands of feet, hands and heads are all symbolic in nature, mentioning that the entire Jagat is Ishvara. Without Ishvara and Brahman as Adhisthana, the Jagat cannot exist. And therefore the entire Jagat which is provided by Brahman is being controlled by Ishvara. With his grace, the universe functions. There is an order created. In that order, the universe functions. That's how it is mentioned here. Now, we'll go into more into the next Dasaka. We'll understand how the world functions and how the cosmos, Lord himself, has been said that he is the cosmos, the form of the cosmos, the form of the universe. So that is being explained little more elaborately in the Dasaka 6. Now, the author, Bhattacharya, at the end of every Dasaka, makes a prayer that, O such an Almighty Lord, You have such a almighty powers that you also protect me from all my ailments. This is a prarthana, special prarthana made by Lord. We also, when we chant this in Dasaka every, we also should make a prayer that, oh Lord, you protect me from all my problems. With this, we are coming to the end of Dasaka 5, and the next session we will be moving to Dasaka 6. Namami Narayana Padavankajam, Karomi Narayana Pujanam Sada, Vadhami Narayana Namadharmalam, Smarami Narayana Tattvamabhyayam.
Radhe Krishna. Chanting of the 5th Dashakam of Narayaniyam. Gopika Jeevanasmaranam Govinda Govinda Vyakta Vyaktamidam Nakinchidabhavat Prakrita Prakshaye Mayayam Gunasamya Ruddha Vikrutao Tvayagatayam Layam No mrityuscha tadamritam cha samabhun Nahno na ratraih stitihi Tatraikastvamashishyatah kila parananda prakashatmana Kalah karma gunascha jiva nivahaha Vishwam cha karyam vibho chillilarati meyushitvaitadha Nillinatam ayayuhu Tesham naiva vadhantya sattvamayhi bhoh Shaktyaatmana tishthatam No chet kim gagana prasona sadrisham Bhuyo bhavet sambhavah Evam chadviparardhakala vighatam ईक्षांसि शिक्षात्मिकां बिभ्राणे त्वयि चुक्षुभे त्रिभुवनी भावाय माया स्वयं मायातः खलु कालशक्तिमखिल दृष्टं स्वभावोऽपि च प्रादुर्भूय गुणान् विकास्य विदधुः तस्याः सहाय क्रियाम् माया सन्निहितो प्रविष्टवपुषा साक्षीति गीतो भवान् भेदैस्तां प्रतिबिम्बतो विविशिवान् जीवोऽपि नैवापरः कालाधिप्रतिबोधिताथ भवता सञ्चोदिता च स्वयं माया सा खलु बुद्धितत्त्वमसृजत् योऽसौ महानुच्यते तत्रासौ त्रिगुणात्मकोऽपि च महान् सत्त्वप्रधानः स्वयं जीवेऽस्मिन् खलु निर्विकल्पमहमित्युद्बोध निष्पादकः चक्रेऽस्मिन् चक्रेऽस्मिन् सविकल्पबोधकमहन् तत्त्वं महान् खल्वसौ सम्पुष्टं त्रिगुणैस्तमोतिबहुलं विष्णो भवत्प्रेरणात् सोऽहं चतुर्गुणक्रमा त्रिविधाम् आसाद्य वैहारिको भूयस्तेजस तामसो वितामसौ इति भवान् आद्येन सत्त्वात्मना देवानिन्द्रियमानिनो कृतदिशां वार्ताकपाश्यश्विनो वह्नीन्द्राच्युत मित्रकान् विधुविधि श्रीरुद्रशारीरकान् भूमन्मानसबुद्ध्यहङ्कृतमिलच्चित्ताख्य वृत्यन्वितं तच्छान्तःकरणं विभो तव बलात् सत्त्वांश एवासृजत् जातस्तैजसदो दशेन्द्रियगणः तत्तां स सांशात् पुनः तन्मात्रं नभसो मरुत्पुरपते शब्दो जनित्वद्बलात् शब्दाध्योमतथ ससर्जितविभो स्पर्शं ततो मारुतं तस्माद्रूपमतो महोऽथ च रसं तोयं च गन्धं महीम् एवं माधव पूर्वपूर्वकलनात् आध्यात्मधर्मान्वितं भूतग्राममिमं त्वमेव भगवन् प्राकाशयस्तामसात् एते भूतगणास्तदेन्द्रियगणाः देवाश्च जाता पृथक् नोषे कुर्भुवनाण्ड निर्मितविधौ देवैरमीभिस्तदा त्वं नानाविधसूक्तिभिर्नुतगुणः त्वत्त्वान्यमून्यान्विष चेष्टाशक्तिमुदीर्य तानि घटयन् हैरण्यमण्डं व्यदाह अण्डं तत् खलु पूर्वसृष्टसलिले तिष्ठत्सहस्रं समाह निर्भिन्दन् अकृताश्चतुर्दश जगद्रूपं विराडाह्वयं साहस्रैः करपार्थमूर्ध्वनिवहैः निःशेषजीवात्मको निर्भातोऽसि मरुत्पुराधिपसमां त्रायस्व सर्वामयात्। श्री हरे नमः। गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्द गोविन्द। श्री गुरुवायूरप्पने शरणं, श्री आनन्दचिन्मयने शरणं, श्री चोतानिकर भगवती अम्मे शरणं। नारायण अखिलगुरो भगवन्नमस्ते।